Hello and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I'll be going over my haul for the month of June. And because I recently had to swap out some editions of titles in my collection for other editions, I'll also be going over some options I usually use to unhaul manga from my collection. As usual, most of what I have in my haul will be titles I'm focusing on collecting this year, so they'll make up about 85 to 90% of the haul. And then the remaining 10 to 15% will be either series I'm trying for the first time or ongoing series that I'm collecting as they get released. So I'm gonna jump right into it. The very first title that I have here today is Noragami. If you didn't already know, the anime for Noragami is making a comeback. The third season is going to be released. I believe it's in 2025. There was honestly no one who was more excited than me when I heard about it. Maybe there was, but I'm sticking with that. I was so excited. I am a huge fan of Noragami. I have always loved it. I will always love it. And I cannot understand how this series just flew under the radar. It's probably because the fans of the series are not as passionate as some other fandoms, and it just never picked up as a series. So I'm really excited that it's coming back, and this is one of the series in my collection that I decided to swap out. I'm swapping out the individual volumes that I had for the omnibus editions. They were much cheaper than buying the volumes individually, and I was able to bundle up and save on them as well. They were on sale as a bundle on the Crunchyroll store, so I just went ahead to buy the first 8 omnibuses. Noragami has 27 volumes and 3 extras. The 8 omnibuses I have cover volumes 1 through 24. So I'm missing 3 volumes and the last 3 extras. I'm thinking the extras will probably be included in the last omnibus. So I only have 1 omnibus to go, and then I will complete this collection. If you don't know anything about the series, it is about a stray god called 𝕬𝕉𝕚𝕚. This is a series that explores themes with like Japanese folklore, Shinto mythology. So if you like stuff like that, you probably enjoy it. But it also has a little bit of humor. It focuses on things like friendships, relationships, and just loyalty and things like that. If that sounds like something that you're going to enjoy, I honestly recommend that you give it a try. Now that it's making a comeback, I think now is a good time to really get into it. So yes, that is Noragami. Oh, another thing, I mentioned in one of my videos, I can't even remember which one it is right now, that a dream 𝕞𝕚𝕕 for me will be characters from Noragami. And what would you know, just the other day, 𝕽𝕚𝕚𝕚 announced that they're going to release the 𝕞𝕚𝕚𝕚 for 𝕬𝕚𝕚, and I'm so excited about that. So in addition to the anime making a comeback, they're releasing a 𝕞𝕚𝕚𝕚 for 𝕬𝕚𝕚 as well. So yeah, Noragami fans are going to be eating well next year, and I'm just so excited for that. But that is Noragami. Next series I have here is Kaiju wa Midsummer. I actually ordered this first omnibus of the series last year, but it just got released. It just got delivered this month, nearly a year later. And once I received this, I went ahead to order the other omnibuses that I was missing from the series. So now I have volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are on my shelves somewhere, and I picked up the rest of the series that were available or in stock on the Crunchyroll store. So I have volume 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, and 18. I'm trying to figure out which ones I'm missing. I'm missing volumes 13, 14. I feel like there was another omnibus I was missing, but I think it ended on volume 18, didn't it? Yeah, it ends on volume 18, so maybe I'm only missing 1 omnibus, because that will make it 9 omnibuses. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I have 2 on my shelf, 7, 8. Oh, I'm only missing 1, so volumes 13 and 14, and I will be done collecting this series, which would be awesome because this was one of the series I wanted to complete collecting this year. It was one of the first shoujo series or shoujo manga that I watched because I was mostly a shonen girly when I got into manga and anime, and I really enjoyed it and just started exploring that demographic a little bit more. So I'm happy to have this collection on my shelf. The next series I have here, another one that I was trying to collect and now I'm actually done collecting, is Lovesick Ellie. I'm going to be buddy reading yeah, that's correct, buddy reading this with a friend in July, and I'm so excited for that now that I have all of it. I actually forgot to show this in my last manga haul. I picked up volumes 9 and 10 as part of the Barnes & Noble BOGO 50% off sale in May, and I forgot to show them. So those are volumes 9 and 10. And then to complete the series, I have volumes 11 and 12 as well that I picked up in June. So yeah, that is the complete series. I already read the first 4 volumes of the series. I'm really enjoying it. It's really comical. It's shoujo, but it's also not like conventional shoujo. Of course, you have some tropes that are very common to shoujo manga, but it's so hilarious. The main female character, oh my god, she is hilarious. I just love her so much. She is so funny, and that makes the series so enjoyable to read. I also love the choices that they've made with like the spines. It's white with like really bold colors that look really nice on my shelf, so I enjoyed that. And that is one that I'm actually done collecting for the year. That is Lovesick Ellie. The next one I have here is Fruits Basket. This is also a series I was planning to collect this year, although I hadn't quite gotten to the point of starting to collect it. But I walked into my local used bookstore recently and found the first 4 volumes of the collector's edition for about 50% off. Used, but they are in excellent condition. I couldn't pass that up, so I just went ahead to pick them up. Fruits Basket. I feel like if you're very into manga and anime, you know Fruits Basket. I love this series so much growing up. Ayame was one of my favorite characters. I just thought he was hilarious. I still remember the 14th episode. The fact that I can even recall the number of the episode off the top of my head from the original version of the anime when he was introduced as a character. Oh my god, that episode is so funny. Every now and then I still go back to watch it. His escapades with Hattori and Shigure, such a lovely character. I love him so much. But yes, that is the collector's edition of Fruits Basket. I'm going to see if I can collect the rest of it by the end of the year. I mean, there's still like what, 6 months left in the year, so I have time, but we're going to see how that works out for the rest of the year. So those are all the series that I'm trying to collect this year. Everything else are either like new to me series or ongoing series. I'm first going to start with ongoing series that I picked up the next releases for. I have A Sign of Affection. I'm really enjoying this one. I love the story. The anime aired earlier in the year and I really enjoyed this. I haven't read past, I can't remember what volume I stopped reading at actually. Spoilers if you haven't read this, but I got to the point in the manga where they moved in with each other and I can't remember reading past that point in the series, so eventually I'm going to try to get back into reading the manga. A Sign of Affection. Then I have How I Met Your Soulmate. I'm still reading this one online in Japanese, so I am way past whatever they're releasing in English right now, and by the time this video goes up, the 3rd volume has already been released, so I'm going to try to pick that up as well. I actually cannot decide if I want to keep picking this up in English or if I want to switch to the Japanese releases, because obviously I'm trying to learn Japanese because it's shoujo, it has furigana, but it also paid for me to try to improve my kanji reading. Yeah, I'm going to think about that. I haven't decided if I want to keep buying this in English or just buy the Japanese volumes instead, but that is a problem for future me. I will decide eventually. The last one that I have here for ongoing releases is The Remarried Empress. This is a webtoon that I have been reading for a long time. I actually haven't read it in a while. I think the last time I read it, either the second or the third season just got wrapped up. I finished that season and then I started reading the web novel. So by the time the next season got released, I was already familiar with what was going on in that season because it was covered in the web novel. But at this point, I haven't read it for such a long time that I'm probably going to end up having to read both seasons, if that makes sense. I can remember a lot of the theories, but there are specifics that are just gone from my memory. So if I want to get back into the series again, I'm going to have to reread them, which is very helpful now that I have the physical volumes. But this is revenge kind of webtoon that I love revenge themed webtoons. It's actually a problem. I was telling my sister about how I love them and she's like, huh, what does that say about you as a person? Why do you like this story so much? I like revenge themed webtoons because most of them have female main characters and then they suck it to everyone else in the story. Isn't that so satisfying? What does that say about me as a person? I don't know, but I love them. They're so good. But yeah, that is the Remarried Empress. Then I have a BL one-shot because I wouldn't be me if I didn't have a BL one-shot in my manga haul. And the title is The Man Who Shattered My World. This one was recommended by a mutual on Instagram. It is very, very smutty. Very smutty. So if that's your vibe, you should give this a try. What is this one about? It's about this guy called Tachibana who is a top and basically thinks he is a top and nothing else. He never bottoms until he meets someone who makes him bottom. That is a very generic overview of the one-shots, but I enjoyed this and that is why I have it. Smut, if you're into that, read this. The last thing I have here book-wise is a manhwa, a Korean manhwa in Korean. The English title is, oh crap, I'm blanking on the English title. Are you serious? I can't believe this is actually happening right now, but I'm actually blanking on the English title. Wow. The Korean title is 𝕤𝕠𝕟𝕚𝕚 by PB. My brain is not working today. Let me pick up my phone and look up what that means. I could not believe that I can't remember what the English title is. That is crazy. Posted about this recently, so if I just go and look for that, I will find it. Unintentional Love Story. This is one of my favorite BL manhwas. It got a drama adaptation recently, so if you're more interested in that, or if you'd like to check that out before you read the story, that is also a good option to check it out. But I love this manhwa. That is why I wanted to buy it, and I can also use it for Korean reading practice because I'm already very familiar with the story. I've read it multiple times, so at this point I already have enough context that even if I'm reading it in Korean and I cannot understand some words, I know what's going on and it will help me with my learning. So yeah, I can't remember the beginning very much, but I'm going to try to give a quick review of the synopsis. The main character, his name is Won-young. He gets fired from his job because his boss was investigated for doing some really corrupt shit, and because he reports to his boss, they didn't believe that he wasn't involved in whatever his boss was doing, and he got fired along with his boss. And this guy was just really depressed because he needs his job. Imagine getting fired for your job without any plan, without having a chance to plan for a backup. And so that's what happens to him, and he's just depressed. I think he goes away to somewhere and he runs into this potter who is the CEO of the company he got fired from's favorite potter. And so he gets dragged into this scheme to basically lure the potter out of hiding because the potter was in hiding, and he gets lured into a scheme to get the potter to work with the CEO of the company, and that is the main setting of the story. And so he starts working with or interacting with this potter. They get closer to each other, obviously, because this is BL. They fall in love with each other, but then there's a secret about the fact that his original intent in approaching the potter was not coincidental. It was very intentional. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a pretty short story, but it is just so good. It's not very complicated. I feel like they had very good communication with each other. They're mature adults. They're not like young people. One of them is already like a working class adult, and then the other MC is older than him. You have a second couple that were pretty interesting to read as well. And it is just a good series. I love it. I recommend it, honestly. I read it every chance that I get. Unintentional love story. Give that a read. The last thing I have here is a figure. I have a pop-up parade figure of Levi. This was on sale and that was why I picked it up. For anime figures, I usually try to wait until they're on sale before I pick them up. There are a lot of them that I want to pick up, but they're honestly very pricey. So I like to wait until they're on sale to pick them up. I cannot remember how much I bought this for, but I'm going to look for it, and if I find it, I'll put it on the screen. And I will unbox this and put an overlay of what the figure looks like on the screen, or maybe just screen grab what the figure is supposed to look like from the Crunchyroll store. But that was everything that I picked up in the month of June. Now for unhauling manga, there are a couple of options that I usually just keep on hand. I'll start with the options where you're not getting any monetary exchange back for whatever you're getting rid of. So that would be like donating your manga to a little free library or even your local library. If you don't know what little free libraries are, they're just like exactly what they sound like. There are little free libraries. There are like wooden posts that you can find around your area. If you Google little free library, you can check where they are located all around you. You can decide to build one or just donate to one, like I said. But TMI, building a little free library is actually a future dream of mine, and I just think they're really cool. They're also really easy to unhaul books too, because you don't have to interact with anyone to drop your books there. You just basically pull up to one, pull out the books you're trying to unhaul, and stuff them into a little free library. So very easy way of getting rid of your books. For physical libraries or local libraries, you actually do have to walk into the library and probably interact with a librarian to unhaul the books that you're trying to unhaul. So it is a little bit more complicated than donating your books to a little free library. So those are the first two options, no monetary value. And then you move to options like selling your books to at places like Facebook Marketplace, 𝕤𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚. I'm trying to think of where else you can sell your books, but one of those places where you have to upload your books, take pictures of them. But what I don't really like about options like that is the fact that you have to wait for someone to show interest in the books before you can sell them. So you're still holding on to them for a period of time before you're able to get rid of them. But still, you still have that option to unhaul your books. And then the next option will be options like selling your books to a local bookstore. I think this one is a little bit more immediate than options like Facebook Marketplace or 𝕤𝕚𝕚𝕚, because you can walk into your local bookstore. I have a local bookstore that I usually unhaul books at. I walk in there, they scan the ISBN code of whatever book I'm trying to unhaul, and then they give me a price that they can take it off my hands for. But another thing that I like about my bookstore personally, it might not apply to other bookstores, but because I have a membership with them, they actually give me about 25% more than the books are worth as store credits for me to spend in the store, as opposed to actually getting actual cash. And I always take that option because I go to the store a lot and I end up buying a lot of stuff from them. So that is one option. The very last option that is also more immediate is one that I'm going to be trying for the first time. If you're familiar with World of Books, it is an online website where you can buy used books, but obviously they have to get their used books from somewhere. So they have another website where they buy books from people, and that website is called Zifit. So I think the way this one works is that you also scan the books that you're trying to get rid of, you pack it up, take it to FedEx. They have like a free shipping option with FedEx, but you have to keep your receipt and all of that stuff. So this is pretty easy. You scan the books, ship it to them, free shipping, but you also have to wait for them to receive it before they tell you how much they can offer you for whatever books that you're giving to them. So that is still an option that you can try if you're trying to unhaul your books. Of all of them, the one that will probably give you the most bang for your buck will be selling at places like Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, and other places like that. But I also like being able to get rid of my books immediately when I want to get rid of them, which is why I like to use options like my local used bookstore or one like Ziffits that I'm trying for the first time. Since I haven't used it before, I have no idea what the pricing for their books usually looks like. But when I do, I'll try to talk about it in another one of my videos. But those are some of the options that I usually employ to unhaul books in my collection when I'm trying to get rid of them. That is the end of the video, and whatever day you find yourself watching this, make it a great one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!